morning and welcome to Coach's Corner on this late summer Saturday morning. Very crisp outside. If you haven't stepped outside, a beautiful morning to get out and get out in the garden, head out maybe on the lake. It's supposed to warm up into the mid-60s only today. Lots of things. Good day to get out and mow the grass for the last time, one of the last times, whatever. Let's head back to last night in a game I heard on K104 and online at KSDNradio.com. The Bronco football team faced the Hibbing Blue Jackets for the 49th time in their rivalry over the years, with each team having won 24 games. The game started out very positively for the Broncos as they got a 3-and-out on defense and then drove from in their own territory down to the Blue Jackets 7-yard line before Casey Marook threw an interception that Hibbing returned 100 yards for a touchdown. On the Broncos' second series of the game, a fumble by the quarterback, Tyler Caulfield, as he got sacked, was scooped up and returned to the Bronco 4-yard line. A couple plays later, Travis Crew threw his first of 4 touchdown passes in the game, and Hibbing led 14-0 late in the first quarter. The Blue Jackets would tack on 2 more touchdowns in each of the second, third, and fourth quarters before the Broncos could get their lone scorer early in the fourth quarter, a 48-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Caulfield to Armando Barrios. And the Broncos lose to Hibbing by a final score of 54-7. The Broncos have their first home game next Friday as they play host to the 1-1 Two Harbors Aggies. The Viking football team, the LBF Vikings football team, they did not play last night. They are down at Mount Iron Buell today for a noon game. That game moved to noon. MIB always has a Hall of Fame weekend, and this is the weekend that it occurs, and so they will be playing at noon today as the 0-1 Vikings take on the 2-0 Mount Iron Buell Rangers, who have played already twice this season. In other high school games last night, let's run down some scores from the area. Probably the biggest maybe surprise of the night, and I'm still figuring out. I even got explanation from our good friend Sheldon Slaybaugh, but the Greenway Nashwauk-Keewatin Titans down the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks last night by a final score of 28-26. I guess it was a pure battle. Greenway loaded and able to take on the big school next door, and they get the 28-26 win. Another upset from last night: Aiken 21, Duluth Denfeld 16. Cambridge Isani 40-35 over Duluth East. Cromwell, the 9-man school, they down Ogilvie 50-16. Another 9-man action. Cook County downs Carleton 20-16. Crosby Ironton last night, the opponent for the Broncos in their last game, they defeat Graham 29-20. Bemidji 23-19 over Sauk Rapids Rice. Moose Lake Willow River 36-12 over Spectrum. Proctor, our good old friend the Rails, they down Mora 30-7 on the road. Hermantown blanks Pine City 28-0. Deer River in a very good one against Barnum 24-18. Deer River prevails after they defeated the Broncos last week, so they moved to 2-0. Back to 9-man Isle 46-28 over Big Fork. Cloquet, the 4A school, downs 3A in Virginia 39-10. Two Harbors, this one's a little bit of a shocker to me as well. Two Harbors 30, Esco 0 last night. The Two Harbors Aggies, as I just mentioned, coming to town next week. The Broncos again will have their hands full. I know Esco very good over the past few years. I know maybe not having quite the football talent that they've had, but that score is very convincing for the Two Harbors Aggies. Hinkley Finlayson downs Masad East 47-14. Evelyn Gilbert shuts out Chisholm 36-0. Northwoods 39-12 over Southridge. McGregor 45-20 over Onamia. Ely 52-0 over Northeast Range. Is Ely for real again this year, folks? We'll soon find out as the season progresses. Floodwood 38-6 over Hill City. Northland 19-8 Silver Bay over Renshaw. Brooklyn Center, one of the teams that the Broncos will play towards the end of the season, they lose to Minneapolis North 38-0. Remember, Minneapolis North was the Class A champion in the state championship game last year, so Minneapolis North, you just don't know how good they are, but we'll keep an eye on Brooklyn Center throughout these upcoming Saturdays until the Broncos play them down there on October 14th. And one other game of note, Rogers, former Bronco Mark Franz, the head coach there, they down Princeton 56-7. The Twins were at home last night taking on the Cleveland Indians. They fall by a final score of 5-4. The Twins had all 4 of their runs by the end of the 4th inning, and it looked like things were going in the right direction. but the Indians took the lead in the 5th. Nobody scored in the second half of the game, and the Cleveland Indians down the Twins 5-4. The two teams go at it again tonight at 6:10 from Target Field. Pre-game at 5:25 on K104. What's going on around the area here today? Well, the Bronco volleyball team, 4-0 on the season. They are on their way, and they will be playing Carleton in their first match down at Greenway, as they are in a weekend Saturday tournament. And if they play 4 matches today, and I'm being told that they are, the 4th match that they play today will be the 1,000th match all time for the Broncos. One of those milestones that you think over finally, and I believe this is the 45th or 46th year of Bronco volleyball. You finally get to a milestone like that. So a 1,000th match for the Bronco volleyball team today, if they play 4 matches at the Greenway tournament. The Rainy River volleyball team is down at Anoka Ramsey for an all-day tournament, and as I already mentioned, the Viking football team will be at Mount Iron Buell today at noon. After an opening weekend of college football that had top 25 teams galore playing against one another, this week has no top 25 teams playing against one another. The college landscape has to be a little disappointed with how things happened. Close to home here, the Minnesota Gophers, they host Indiana State at 11 a.m. on ESPN News. You can see that one there. Both teams come into the game 1-0 as remember the Gophers beat Oregon State 2 Thursdays ago, 30-23. Indiana State down Butler 41-25. And just to give you a little history on Indiana State or whatever, the Sycamores are in the same conference as North Dakota State, so they're an FCS school, and so that means playing down a little bit. That means the Gophers should win, but hey, who knows? The Gophers always seem to not play well against the North Dakota States and the South Dakota States, so let's hope that the Gophers show up and have a convincing win. In other games of note from the local area, the 8th ranked nationally, 8th ranked in Division III, St. John's, they're at Buena Vista, which is in Storm Lake, Iowa, as Gunnar Anderson and his team head down there to play at 1 o'clock this afternoon. UMD, they host Winona State at 6 o'clock. North Dakota State, who I mentioned a moment ago here, the 5-time defending national champions, they host Eastern Washington. They played in the playoffs, I think, if I remember right, back in 2010 or 2011 in the national quarterfinals, and Eastern Washington actually won that game. And if you do the math on that, it was 2010. I got to get that straight away, because if you do the math on it, that's the last time that North Dakota State did not win the national championship, was in 2010. So maybe North Dakota State is going to exact some revenge from that loss from a few years ago. North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks are at Bowling Green at 2:30 today. Bemidji State is at Mankato at 6 o'clock. Changing gears, the Minnesota Lynx, they have a 25-5 record. They're in first place in the Western Conference, and they have just 4 games remaining in their regular season. They're at San Antonio today. San Antonio just 6-23 on the season. That game goes off at 3:30. A little tennis update here. The U.S. Women's Open final goes on this afternoon as Caroline Wozniacki takes on Carolina Pliskova. I'm sure ESPN and all the powers that be are a little disappointed, of course, that former number one in the world, Serena Williams, is not in there. And this is a matchup between a couple of lower-ranked players. But that's the way it goes. That's why they play the tournament, right? And of course, tomorrow the men's tournament, they got a dandy. Stan Wawrinka and Novak Djokovic go in the men's championship on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, of course, the NFL gets their first Sunday of football underway. Of course, they had Thursday night football. Denver hanging on over Carolina 21-20. The Vikings are at Tennessee at noon tomorrow, and it's been announced that Sean Hill will be the starting quarterback. Even though the Vikings traded a first and possibly a 4th-round pick for Sam Bradford, Coach Mike Zim apparently feels that he is not ready to take the reins. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a good competition, but Sean Hill gets the start. That game is at noon. Pre-game starts at 11 o'clock on K104. Elsewhere in the NFC North tomorrow, the Chicago Bears are at Houston, the Detroit Lions are at Indianapolis, and the Packers travel to Jacksonville. We'll take a break and we'll come back with the interview I taped with the Bronco girls swimming and diving team from a couple of days ago. You're listening to Coach's Corner from Hardee's on K104 and online at KSDNradio.com. And welcome back to Coach's Corner. We're joined by the girls swimming, I can't say diving team because there's no diver, swimming and diving team, Emily Sari, Anna Early, Caroline Stone, Emma Meisner,
and our good friend Claire Herzig, who this is her most favorite activity of the year. Ladies, let's talk about last week, the meet down in Hibbing. Emily, I'll start with you. She's your first here on off to my right. Did things go as expected?
Yeah, I think they went good. We had a lot of good times and a lot of good things to look at and work with as the season goes on. So I would say it was a very successful meet.
Anna, earlier you claimed that you don't remember anything about being there, so I'm gonna ask you to tell me what surprised you about that meet, other than you don't remember what happened last week.
Well, they're a pretty tough team, but we kind of expected that. But I think we did really well for it being our first meet, and I got a personal best, so it went pretty well for me. Didn't expect that.
Personal best in what event?
It was the medley relay. I did the breaststroke, so that was good.
Well, let's talk about the breaststroke, because let's see, Emily, Claire, you 1, 2, 3, right? Was that a surprise against Hibbing ladies, or was that expected?
Expected.
That was expected. Why, Claire?
Because we're awesome.
Because we're awesome. What else happened in that meet, Claire, that maybe made you happy? Senior year swimming here, what made you happy about the meet at Hibbing?
I guess I did kind of good in the 50, the open 50. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you feel Emma breathing down the? Could you see her off to the one side of you in the 50, because she was right there? No. No, you couldn't see her when looking across. Could you see Claire in the 50?
I couldn't see Claire, but I was definitely looking at the people around me. I don't think I've swam the open 50 at all, or if I have, it has not been very many times. So it was a little different, but it was pretty fun to be that close to Claire, because I know Claire's fast. I was not expecting that at all.
So does that mean that coach is going to have to reconsider where she might have you swimming?
Maybe.
Carol Ann Stone, you get a chance to move into the medley relay that took first place last week, a spot that Abby Koshik has held for a while. Is there, with these three being seniors, is there pressure stepping in and being part of that relay, or no?
More pressure trying to fill Abby Koshik's shoes, because she has a really fast time.
Is that time out there something that you feel is attainable to duplicate what she did in the past, or is it something that you're going to have to keep striding towards?
Keep striding towards.
Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the meet that is going to have happened on Thursday. We're taping this before the meet. Evelyn, what kind of meet can we expect from Evelyn, Emily?
It should be pretty close. They do have a lot. They have some girls that are fast, so we definitely have to take care of business, I guess. We need to finish, even if they do finish second, we need to make sure we get third and fourth to get those extra points and keep them from having it.
What can we expect from the senior year, Claire? Let's move that way. Is there more pressure because you're a senior now, or is it something that you feel very comfortable, very confident, and this is something that you can move through, and it's going to be a great senior season?
There's more pressure because it's my last year to accomplish all my goals.
And what are those goals?
I want to get a 25 in the 50 freestyle in the relay, and a 26 in the open 50, and get lower in breaststroke. I'm not even close yet, but hopefully by the end of the season be like a 110.
Okay. Talk about your goals, Emma. What you're looking forward to in your senior season.
Well, I think everybody's goal is to continue to improve in everything that they swim. I'm definitely looking to drop some time in my 100 fly, just see how low I can get. Not really. It'd be pretty cool to break the pool record. I'm not sure how attainable the team record would be, but if I get it, it'd be great. If not, the pool record's a good one to go for as well.
So, because it's behind me, what is the pool record? Because I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
The pool record is a 104.03, I think, and I'm pretty sure the team record is a 102 something. I don't know the.
So who owns the 104.03? Who is it? You know, Emma, don't you? You don't know who owns that pool record.
Not the pool
Well,
record.
we're
no.
going to find out. We're going to have a little investigation. So Carolina sees how everybody's deserting away from me going to look up that record. What do you see as your goals for this season? There are things, I think, as you've been improving and doing things, this has got to be an exciting season for you as well.
Yeah, just continue to improve my times. I'd like to get into like the 2-minute 26-second range for my IM and just continue to improve.
Okay. Who owns the record?
We couldn't see the name, but it's somebody from Mesabi East.
Okay. All right. Anna, what kind of expectations do you see for the season? What are the goals for you?
I would like to really improve in breaststroke and kind of try to keep up with Claire and Emily. I'm not sure how realistic that is, but I'll try to do it.
What kind of things can you do? And this is again from somebody who was not a swimmer. What kind of things do you get to do? What can help you to shave seconds, time, half seconds? What are the things that you can do in any of the strokes? That's just not for the breaststroke, but anything to help cut down time. What would really be the biggest thing that you say that would help you to do that?
Listen to Jill.
Tighter streamline.
Tighter streamline. What does that mean?
Like, you want to be tense. Like, you don't want to be all loose. Like you want to, like, flex your core. Yeah, like.
Just cut through the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I heard coach yelling at somebody, not yelling, saying that you are stopping when you're breathing. Is that something that happens? Is there a stroke that happens on more frequently?
It happens to me all the time in freestyle because I like to get lots of air, so I stop when I breathe.
That's a good one. How about turns? Is that a place where you can shave a lot of time off as turns, and is it something that is easier in different strokes? I mean, from breaststroke to backstroke, those kind. Are the turns more important in certain events? Emma?
I think turns are important in every event because, like, that's your push off the wall, and if you get a really bad push off the wall, you're not going to make it very far. So I guess turns are really important. I don't think they're really easier to go faster in any specific stroke, but I guess you can always be faster in all of them. Because, like, I think the main thing too is, like, for breaststroke and butterfly, you need to make sure you get both hands on the wall, and sometimes you might be too preoccupied thinking about that to, like, go faster. I know that happens to me sometimes because I really don't want to get DQ'd. But
Ladies, anything to add to what Emma said about turns? I mean, to me, that would be the biggest place to cut time down.
I think turns are important, especially, like Emma said, the butterfly and breaststroke, since they're two-hand turns. So you're kind of stopping right there instead of on a flip turn where you keep going. So you really want to work on getting off as fast as you can so you keep up that momentum that you had coming into the wall.
The Olympics were on about a month ago. Did you guys watch swimming for like 8 straight nights, or did you guys kind of ignore it?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. What'd you learn? Did you learn anything from watching the best in the world?
They're definitely fast.
Definitely fast. To me, it's the amount of time that they spend underwater after the turn, after the push-off. Is that something that you guys can work on? Is that something that is attainable? I mean, I see them going off 10, 15 meters. That's a long ways. Is that something that is workable in a 25-yard pool?
I would say yeah. I think just focusing on, like Emma said, keeping that streamline tight, that's going to get you through the water a lot faster and with a lot less energy that you have to spend on it. So I think that's probably the most important thing, and just working on a tight and fast dolphin kick so you're not just like a worm through the water.
the farther you streamline, the less you actually have to swim. So it makes it easier.
Who are we looking forward to swimming against? We've got one meet out of the way. We've got 7 more duels to go. Who's the team out there that we're looking forward most to competing against?
Mesabi East.
Mesabi East. Everybody's shaking their head. Mesabi East. What is it about Mesabi East?
Well, they're pretty close to us, like speed-wise. I guess like every event, like it's always a really fun meet to go to. We've noticed like the past couple of years, if we're home, we'll win. If we're at their pool, they'll win. But I think, was it last year, we beat them wherever we saw them. So I think if we can continue to do that, I think we're all looking forward to being able to do that.
Ladies, best of luck throughout the season. Get back in the pool and get your workouts in. Thanks.
Thank you.
Emma Meisner, Carol Ann Stone, Anna Early, Emily Sari, and also Claire Herzig joining me here. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more Coach's Corner. You're listening live on K104 and online at ksdmradio.com. Welcome back to Coach's Corner, joined by the LBF Vikings volleyball team. We got some nervous people here all of a sudden, Coach. Are they going to be okay? Joined by head coach Kim Wimmer, also by Gina Thydeen, Danica Clemenson, and Leanna Henriksen. And Coach, wow, a 3-2 start to the season. A couple of 5-setters this week. It seems to be a pattern lately.
It was this week anyway. So 5-setters are exciting when you come out on top. And we've had an exciting week. We talked about in the locker room. We're hoping we can get some wins, some easier wins if possible. Coming up next week, we have got a couple home matches next week as well.
Yeah, I thought about the score from the Ely match in set 5. I think it was like 15-7 or 15-8. That was the score in Thursday night's 5th set as well. What is it about the 5th set, Gina, that makes things that you guys get to be so dominant? You guys got to go all the way to the 5th set, but then what happens in the 5th set to make it all happen?
I don't know. I think we just kind of realize that we need to pull it out and work hard, and it comes together.
Coach, can they pull it together sooner? I don't need that kind of stress in my life. I'm sure you don't either, right?
I don't either. No. It'd be nice if it came out sooner. But anyway, you can just, the past 2 games, you can just tell in the huddle before the 5th set, everybody seems ready, everybody seems focused, and that's a compliment to the team. Again, hopefully we pick up some easier wins, but if it does get to that point, they do seem confident in game 5 and able to pull out the win.
Danica, you had a kind of an important role in the 5th set of Thursday's night's match. I noticed that you were setting a little bit more, maybe late in set 4 and most through set 5. Is that something that maybe you thought Sydney May was getting a little tired from serving out of the back row, or is that just something that you naturally do for this team?
Well, Sydney's usually our second hitter, whatever, and sometimes when she gets the first hit, I just kind of take over because, I don't know, just, yeah.
That's what you got to do,
yes,
right?
I gotta do.
That's the idea. Leanna, you had to come off the bench in a couple of crucial spots, I thought, in the match where you had to come in and play some in the back row. Is that a role that you feel very comfortable playing?
Yeah, I just try to stay calm and focus on what I'm supposed to do.
I guess I always think about that player that comes into the back row off of the bench, and the server is looking over at you and going, okay, she just came off the bench, she can't be ready to go. So what do you do to try to calm yourself down and get yourself ready?
Not to overthink it. That's the main thing for me. Sometimes that happens and it doesn't go well if I do. So.
Coach, the way that the team is going, you're getting a lot of girls in. You're playing some players just in the front row, just in the back row. It seems like everybody feels very comfortable with their roles. And I thought some younger kids really showed up in Thursday night's match against Big Fork in the 5-set win. And we talked about Danielle Pekarski being one of those.
Yeah, in practice, everybody's doing everything. So we're all doing, even people who you'd think or who you saw tonight play primarily back row, they still do hitting lines, and everybody's ready to go if we would need them in that role. And we have had some younger kids step up. We've had seniors step up. We've had, across the board, it seems like we talked about in the pregame interview before Thursday night's match that, I don't really know going in who's going to step up, but people have been, and that's nice to see as a coach.
I always ask during Coach's Corner interviews, I always talk about who the big rivalry match, what school do you guys have the big rivalry match? And I would guess that it's probably Big Fork. Maybe not, or is it the Falls, Gina? You're kind of saying, or who is it?
I think it's really the Falls. Just we know them better, and it's nice to play against them. I don't know.
Yeah, I suspect. Danica, do you agree with that? That's that the Falls is a bigger rivalry? Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
She's busting right out of her uniform here. She has too many muscles apparently. Leanna, do you agree? The Falls?
Yeah, Falls.
Okay, so now who after that? After the Falls and Big Fork, which match are you looking for?
Cherry.
The Cherry word comes out. We always seem to come back to Cherry. Why Cherry, Gina?
They're really good, and I feel like we're always just right there with them, and it's nice to see year to year like how everything works out.
Next week, a couple of home matches. Coach Kim talked about this, that Northwoods and Northeast Range coming to town. You guys played your first 4 matches on the road. Kind of nice to come home and get a couple matches at home, Danica.
Yeah, it's really nice.
How about the crowd? The kids. Did that kind of help, Leanna? Did it really kind of get the girls going? Maybe especially in the 5th set to kind of get things going.
Yeah, I think so. I think we sometimes depend on them too much, but they help us a lot.
Coach, thanks for the time. Keep this thing going. A 3-game winning streak right now. You got the 2 home matches, and then you go to Crosby for a big tournament there. What are your expectations there?
We're excited about the Crosby tournament. It's a new one we haven't been at before, and just got some information on it this week. There's teams that, again, this is kind of like how I like to approach tournaments. There's teams that we won't see again. I don't think there's a single team in Section 7A, but there's other teams, so we get to play against some good competition, see what some other teams are doing, and use it as a learning experience early in the season. So it should be a lot of fun.
Ladies, best of luck the rest of the way. I appreciate your guys' time.
Thank
you.
Gina Thydeen, Danica Clemenson, Leanna Hendrickson, and Coach Kim Wimmer joining me here. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more Coach's Corner from Hardy's on K104 and online at ksdmradio.com.
Yeah, welcome back to Hardy's for our final segment, and thanks to the Bronco girls swimming and diving team, and also to the Little Fork Big Falls Vikings volleyball team, all the girls for not coming in, but taping the interviews on their time schedules, and obviously we did not have a chance to do those live, but we do what we can. We want to make sure we have a couple of interviews each week, and that was the way that we could get it done. Let's talk about the last week. Of course, this past Monday was Labor Day, so there was basically no sports over the weekend. So let's head back to Tuesday. The Bronco volleyball team, they traveled to Mesabi East, and they came away with a 3-game sweep by scores of 25-19, 25-13, and 25-20. Bailey Millette, Emma Gilbert, and Jenna Sullivan each led the team with 6 kills. With that win, the Broncos improved to 4-0. The Vikings volleyball team was also on the road as they faced the Timberwolves in Ely. Little Fork Big Falls earned a 5-set victory as they won by scores of 19-25, 25-21, 25-23, 19-25, and finally 15-9. Kaylee Kennedy, first match, 2 big matches of the week. Kaylee Kennedy had 12 kills. Emily Franz, 7 kills and 4 blocks. Sydney Went, 34 set assists and 3 ace serves. On Wednesday, the Rainy River volleyball team was at home. They took on the Hibbing Cardinals, and they were very, very impressive in their win on Wednesday night as they downed Hibbing 25-17, 25-12, 25-16. Maddie Filipiak had 12 kills and 3 blocks. Ariane Ori, AJ Ori as she likes to be called, had 28 set assists. Alyssa Wilform, and I believe that it's Ellie, 7 kills and a couple of blocks. Cassandra Moffitt and Sandra Thompson each had 6 kills as well. The Voyager women's volleyball team is now 4-2 on the season, and they were, again, as I mentioned, they are down at Anoka Ramsey today for a tournament. On Thursday, the match heard on K104 and online at ksdmradio.com, the Vikings volleyball team had their first home match of the season, and for the second time this week, LBF had to go the distance. They had to go all 5 sets. It was it was quite the match. It had lots of drama that didn't actually involve play on the floor. Referees' decisions and rotation discussions, and it was a match, and the Vikings came away with a 15-8 5th set win to seal the deal. Kaylee Kennedy, big match, 15 kills on the night. Danielle Pekarski added 9 kills, while Emily Franz and Mackenzie Swenson each had 8. Sydney Went had 40 set assists to go along with 7 ace serves. The Broncos, the Vikings now, are 3-2 on the season as they get above the 500 mark, and now are on a 3-game winning streak. The Bronco girls swimming and diving team, who we just heard from, they had their first match of the season against a home match against Evelyn Gilbert on Thursday night, and they downed Evelyn Gilbert 108.5 to 74.5. Let's run through the top finishers, first or second place in the events. In the 200 medley relay, the team of Caroline Stone, Emily Sari, Emma Meisner, and Claire Herzig, who we just heard from about 20 minutes ago, they took first place there. Emma Erickson takes second in the 200 freestyle. Caroline Stone took first in the 200-meter individual medley, and the 50 free. Claire Herzig goes first, and Anna Early second. Swimming, in the diving competition, Lindsay Lucy, Josie Bates, and Whitney Gwynn, they go 1, 2, and 3. Anna Early takes second in the 100 butterfly. Lindsay Lucy takes second in the 500 free. The sweep for in all the relays in the 200 free, Anna Early, Amelia Stewart, Meisner, and Herzig take first place. Caroline Stone takes first in the backstroke. Emily Sari first in the 100 breaststroke. And the 400 free also took first place. Early, Stone, Stewart, and Meisner there. So again, they took first place in all three relays. And the only events that they did not take first place in were the 200 free, the 500 free, and the 100 butterfly. So a very dominating performance for the Broncos swimming team. They're now 1-1 on the season as they lost to Hibbing about 10 days ago now down at Hibbing. The Bronco cross country teams got their season finally underway. They lost a meet early in the season due to budget cuts, so they got their season started a little bit late. They were in Roseau on Thursday. The up-and-coming boys team, they're going to be something to watch over the next few years, folks. If you haven't followed cross country, you might want to jump on the bandwagon right now. I've got high expectations for this team. I think they have high expectations for themselves. They took second place right behind Roseau. The host team, Roseau, had 45, and the Broncos had 46, so they're right there, the top five boys, which count for the scores in cross country. John Kalman in fourth, Joe Glowak seventh, Hunter Wilson eighth, Brock O'Loughlin ninth, and Tanner Wood 18th. Just a great start to the season for the boys. On the girls' side, they placed fifth place with a score of 106 behind East Grand Forks, who had 57, and then Roseau, Warroad, and Thief River Falls. Lexi Erickson, who went to the state the past couple of years as an individual, she picks up right where she left off. She takes second place. Avery Savonin in 13th, Faith Black 24th, Grace Gilbert 33rd, and Melissa Schulquist comes in 34th. Just one game of note last night. There was only one game in the area last night, and that was the International Falls Broncos football team. They lose to Hibbing by a final score of 54-7. As I mentioned already, for today, again, the Rainy River volleyball team down at Anoka Ramsey for a tournament. The Bronco volleyball team is in Greenway, and I got an updated schedule. They play Carleton at 10:45. They play Greenway at noon, and then they'll have two more matches after that. So again, on their fourth match today, that will be the 1,000th match all-time for the Bronco volleyball team. So we wish them the best of the luck. I'm really looking forward to see how the the Greenway game comes out. That pool that they're in a three-team pool with Greenway and Carleton. Carleton is always good in volleyball. Greenway, enough said, they are one of the top teams in Section 7-2A. So the Broncos are in a very tough pool. They'll have two tough matches. And again, they go into that tournament today with a 4-0 record. Of course, the Viking, LBF Viking football team, they're at MIB at noon. What's coming up this week? Let's start on Monday. The Bronco volleyball team, they travel to Ely for a 7 p.m. match. The Bronco cross-country teams, the girls and the boys, will be out at Warwood for a 4:30 start. On Tuesday, another home meet for the Bronco girls swimming and diving team. That meet starts at 4:30. And the Little Fork Big Falls Vikings volleyball team, they will be hosting Northeast Range on Tuesday. So could be a rare double header there if you want to go watch swimming in the falls and volleyball down in Little Fork. You can pull that off. Rainy River volleyball, they will be on the road in Cloquet at Fond du Lac on Wednesday. Thursday, the Bronco volleyball team hosts Virginia. Ought to be a great match. If you want to come on and watch some good volleyball, I think you're going to see it at the Falls Gymnasium on Thursday night. The Little Fork volleyball team, LBF volleyball team, also at home for their third straight home matches. They will be taking on Northwoods, and the cross-country teams travel to Evelyn Gilbert for a 3:30 meet. That meet always takes a little bit longer. Big hilly course there at the Evelyn Golf Course, and of course they run many races. It's a little bit bigger meet of the season. Next Friday, the Bronco football team, they will be having their first home game as they will be hosting Two Harbors. And the Little Fork Big Falls football team, they'll have the home game against Northwoods. Next Saturday, the Bronco swimming and diving team, they will be down at Hibbing for an invitational with diving at 9 and swimming to begin at 11 o'clock. The Viking volleyball team, they'll be on the road at CI for a big tournament down there. And the Rainy River volleyball team will be at Itasca next Saturday. That's going to wrap it up for this week for Coach's Corner. Thanks to Aaron back at the station. Thanks to our sponsors. We're so much appreciative of everything they do, allowing us to bring you this show on Saturday mornings. Thanks to everybody here at Hardee's. Didn't have any guests to take care of this morning, but they always do such a great job. They did help me after we had a little issue earlier in the show. If you were listening, we had some music on. We lost power for a few seconds on my plug-in, and they helped me out and get everything set up. Thanks again to them. But most of all, thank you for listening to Coach's Corner. Live from Hardee's on K104 and online at KSDMradio.com.